This podcast is supported by Leavenworth Summer Theater, a community-powered regional professional theater company that has been bringing together both local and traveling talent for 31 years. Located in the heart of Washington's Bavarian Village, LST brings world-class productions to the Cascade Mountains, welcoming around 20,000 guests to their performances each summer, while fostering artistic excellence and celebrating the unique spirit of our mountain community. From Broadway classics to contemporary works, they've been creating unforgettable experiences that bring people together, one story at a time. Learn more about LST at leavenworthsummertheater.org.
Opening night club.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening night club. We can't wait to watch an opening night show. Because on opening night, we always go with our opening night club. Opening night club.
Welcome to the Opening Night Club. This is the podcast where we discuss and celebrate local theater all over Central Washington. I'm your host, Kevin McKee, and with me again is actor, playwright, theater gadfly, and my friend, Skyler Cuthill. Hello, Skyler.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
I am doing pretty well. We've got a bunch of stuff we can discuss right now, but we are in kind of the dead time for theater.
I mean, there's still stuff running, but no opening nights. There is one.
We do have an opening night.
Yes.
We do have an opening night coming up next month, but it's still pretty thin.
Yes.
Compared to the plethora of shows we've had all summer.
The wealth of shows we've had.
The wealth of shows we've had. If we have our regular listeners, last week we had an interview with Christy Shearer, the executive director of Leavenworth Summer Theater. And next week we will be talking with Kathy Bronson from Kashmir High School, who is moving on to her next adventure.
The indomitable Kathy Bronson. She's been a stalwart of Leavenworth Summer Theater for years and years and years. And she was the music instructor at Kashmir High School, right?
Yes, she was music director for all of their musicals that they've had recently.
Every time you go to a Kashmir show, she is working hard, at the board.
Yes.
Right? They don't even let them rest during the shows or whatnot.
That's right.
They have to keep at it.
Yeah. So anyhow, we'll be discussing all sorts of theater stuff with Kathy next week. But this week, Skyler, what have you been up to?
Well, we just opened and then closed the newest iteration of the Dungeon Mini Quest Tavern, which is Cynthia Brown's D&D improv troupe. We had the Curse of Greybeard's Treasure at the Pack, which is it was wonderful. It was a wonderful setting. We had a real stage and everything and the wonderful Pack tech people. And they were able to utilize the remaining seating from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So it was great. It was like a synergy thing.
Yes, right.
It was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Perfect. Did you want to talk about the plays you've been reading?
Yes. So I'm part of like a play reading group. And this past month, we read Dance Nation. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Wenatchee has two semi-prominent playwrights, hailing it as their hometown, Heidi Schreck and Claire Barron. And Heidi Schreck wrote What the Constitution Means to Me, which was on Broadway for a long time, right? And Claire Barron has written a couple of off-Broadway shows, and I think the most prominent, it was the one that was up for the Pulitzer, was Dance Nation from 2018. And so that's been kind of rattling around in like the Wenatchee theater community for a while, that it's strange that we have these Wenatchee playwrights, these women, but we don't put on their shows. And it's like, well, maybe we should. So let's take a look at them. And Dance Nation is very modern. It is maybe not to the taste of the Wizard of Oz crowd.
It's an edgy show.
Yeah. It's about the experience of being like a preteen girl. And they get very explicit about what that involves. And obviously, I was not a preteen girl, so I'm willing to trust on authority that this was what it was like. And it's tough. This is like Vietnam stuff, that these girls are going through with their bodies and whatnot.
It's a difficult script, but I think it's really important. I've been pushing this one for a while, that we need to see somebody in town do it.
Yes.
It is not family friendly in any way.
No. In fact, even though it's so specific to like the experience of being a 12 or 13-year-old girl in like a dance troupe, in the director's note at the start of the show, at the start of the script, it says, do not cast 12 or 13-year-old girls in these roles.
Exactly.
Nobody would like to hear the words that are in the script coming out of their mouths. Even though this is like the experience, this is supposed to be true to their experience, you should not do that. So that is, everybody understands what's up, you know. But I thought it was a very interesting script. It's not really my cup of tea. I prefer light cotton candy type stuff. But it's there's a lot of like genuinely very insightful like human experience type stuff in there. There's like in the middle, there's like a conversation between the dance instructor and one of the moms, which if you've been around this kind of thing, you know can be extremely contentious. And it was done with a ton of insight, a ton of like genuine empathy and feeling. And I was genuinely struck by it. So yeah, no, it's a worthwhile script. It's just kind of out of step with, you know, like what we're doing generally.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll tell you, the piece that I liked the most was in the middle where you have the one dancer girl who starts talking about the attention she gets from adult men. And she gets more and more. It starts out, I know I'm pretty. Everybody tells me I'm pretty. That there's guys that come by that give me a lot of attention and they'll try to touch me. And she gets angrier and angrier. And you can almost see this 13-year-old who all of a sudden you step back and you realize all of these 13-year-olds are being played by adult women, and you can feel the anger coming out of the adult women that their inner 13-year-old had through all of that. I loved it.
I'm taking it on authority, right, that this is what it was like. And it is very interesting in that respect. It's just so far removed from my own experience, right? So yeah, no, I think it's extremely worthwhile. Just I wouldn't be in it, but I shouldn't be in it as a 37-year-old man.
That would be a little weird.
Yeah, there is a boy role.
There is.
Yes.
Because there's always one boy in the dance troupe.
There is one boy, yeah. And I actually thought that character was well written. He's not like an important character, but I thought it was very representative of that type.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of just there and he's happy to be part of it. And he's not going through these huge dilemmas that the girls are. And he's like, yeah, I like to dance. And I was like, yeah, that's how it is sometimes, you know.
Well, I hope that we can see this one produced here in Wenatchee so that all of the opening night club listeners will be able to go see this show.
Yeah, no, again, we have these two, you know, prominent playwrights from Wenatchee. We're the Wenatchee Theater Group. We should be doing it. It's just, it takes some effort, you know.
I think it was last year or the year before that Heidi Schreck wrote an adaptation of Uncle Vanya that was put on at Lincoln Center.
Oh.
Yeah, Steve Carell played the lead in that.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if we could take a look at that one.
Well, that would certainly be more palatable to our program, right?
Yeah.
Uncle Vanya.
Yes, it was very well attended, mostly because of the actors that they've got. There was 4 or 5 name Hollywood actors that were in Uncle Vanya. Yeah, Heidi spent a lot of time in Russia. She speaks Russian fluently.
Really?
Yes. And so this was kind of a passion project. I think it did very well.
Really?
Yeah.
If I am ever successful, even the tiniest degree with my own playwriting, I always wanted to do a stage adaptation of The Devils, like Dostoevsky. Yes, it's like 1,300 pages long, so it would be a hell of a job. But I read The Devils for the first time like 2 years ago, and I was deeply struck by it. It's really strong stuff. But it would be the job of like a decade to like effectively render it down.
Yes.
But yeah, how interesting. Heidi Schreck is on a parallel but much more successful path. How can you even compare them? Gosh. But still, interesting. She's thinking along that line. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes. I would love to see what the Constitution means to me. I don't know if you've watched that show, Skyler.
I've not.
It's on Amazon Prime.
It's a one-person show, right?
It's mostly a one-person show. She does have a couple other people. She's got one other person that comes on, and then at the end, she brings on a teenage debater, and they debate back and forth on whether we should keep the Constitution or rewrite it.
Oh.
Which I can't think of a more salient issue right now that, yeah, I think people are starting to think about that, which they may have never thought about before.
And it's on Amazon, you said?
Amazon bought the rights to it, and so they did a pro shoot of the show.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
I would love to see that also produced. Okay, let's talk about the schedule that we've got coming up. Right now, this week, when this comes out, we've got 2 shows that are still running, both at Leavenworth Summer Theater, Sound of Music and Carousel. Little Mermaid closed this weekend. Mm-hmm. And in rehearsals, we've got The Marvelous Wonderettes, which has been cast. That's a 4-person show. Mm-hmm. And Maskers had auditions this last week, and they're producing Little Shop of Horrors. And so I'm assuming that is now in rehearsals to come up later.
Yeah. And that's the Maskers are the theater in Ephrata, or is it Soap Lake?
Soap Lake.
Soap Lake. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very nice theater.
Yeah, and I've never been to a Maskers show, but I know it's like a going program, right?
Yes.
So I'd be interested. It'd be fun to, and we could go to the nice Italian restaurant again.
We could do that.
Oh my gosh, make an evening of it.
Yes. I don't know the people there anymore outside of Dave Stearns, who worked in a lot of theater back in the day here.
Okay.
And he's been getting good roles there. He was the lead in Harvey.
Well, and they just did the Star Kid Cavemen show.
Oh.
Yeah, Firekeeper or Firebringer.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Katie Ringley was talking about it. And I actually saw that because Star Kids, which is like the Mish theater kid troupe, they do original shows. They put it on YouTube.
Oh.
It's an interesting show. It has a lot of really excellent like puppetry.
Yeah.
Because like the cavemen are fighting, like saber-toothed tigers and whatnot. And so like the production is very important for that show. So I would have been curious to see that.
If you go online, if you read Reddit, there's a lot of people there that are hyping Star Kids shows.
Yes.
Yes, which apparently they're doing there.
I've seen most of them because like they're free on YouTube, so you can just watch them. I really like their Oregon Trail one because it has good structure, because it's structured off of Oregon Trail. And then their Aladdin one is a mess, but it has really good music. The music's a lot of fun. That's Twisted. It's like Wicked.
Gotcha.
Jafar is actually a good guy, right? Surprise! It's the most boring and passé twist possible. But the music really is pretty good. So yeah, I do recommend that one.
Okay. So we've got their auditions were 16th and 17th. Sorry. We have auditions coming up Monday. Really the day that this podcast is going to be released, for the Christmas Carol at Music Theater of Wenatchee. Henry Heddick's directing that one.
Yeah, so auditions are Monday and Tuesday. You can come on either day, and then callbacks are on Wednesday.
Yes.
So yeah, and Henry does a good job. Henry is a local luminary. He's been doing theater for a long time, and he'll do it well.
And we haven't seen the script in a while, but it was done a lot up in Leavenworth. They did that at Sleeping Lady in the Chapel Theater.
The Chapel Theater, yes, back in the day. And then it was also at the Fest Hall.
Yes.
Yes. Back when they were doing the Christmas shows, which I think the last one was like 2015 or 2016. So it's been a while.
But
yeah, Henry is back with the Christmas Carol.
Yes. So auditions for that are Monday and Tuesday this week. Quincy High School has auditions for their fall show Puffs, and that's going to be September 2nd. I think it's a Harry Potter knockoff show.
Oh, like Hufflepuff.
Well, I think so.
Oh, okay.
The PAC is having auditions for the Old Time Radio Show on September 3rd, and Wenatchee High School is having auditions for their version of Little Shop of Horrors on September 8th.
Something's going around. Everybody's doing Little Shop.
That's right.
I love Little Shop, though.
It's one of my favorite shows.
One day, I need to be the dentist. It's such an obvious Skyler role. It was not to be the last time MTW did it, but I know that show is regularly done, and I'll be age appropriate for the dentist for another 10 years. So I'll get my shot.
I think you could do it.
I would bully Audrey so much. It'd be such a pleasure. And Holiday Spice is auditioning on the 27th. At the PAC.
Of August.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So coming right up here. So please consider that one too.
So although we don't have a lot of opening nights coming up, we do have a lot of auditions that will be setting us up for shows that are coming up in October, November, December.
Yeah.
So the opening nights that we have coming up, I think the next real opening night that we've got is September 18th. Can you tell us a little bit about what's opening on September 18th?
So we still don't have the new promotional material put together, but Humans: A Brief Primer will have its reopening night at the Bushel and Bee in Leavenworth on September 18th, which is a Thursday at 7 o'clock. I revised the script extensively. The script was originally written in 2020, and things have changed since then. So I revised it pretty extensively this past spring, and I have done it even more so now. There's going to be a section about podcasts, funnily enough.
Wow.
Now that I have all this experience, now that I'm an industry veteran, right? But it's going to be free. So you know what?
We can all be there. All the listeners, all the opening nightclub members can go and support Skyler and his show at the Bushel and Bee and drink some mead and cider.
Yes, in my mad quest. In playwriting terms. But that'll be September 18th. Please consider it, especially if you saw it the last time, it's 70-80% the same. So maybe you don't need to. But if you didn't catch it last time, please consider it.
I saw it in previews and I thought it was great. I love that show.
It'll be even better.
It'll be,
and my delivery will be much better too. Now that I'm calmer about it, I was really shocked at how much of a tizzy I was in doing it the first time.
There's a lot of energy there.
Well, I've done so many shows for so long, and so I could not believe how nervy I was about it because it was my show. It was different.
So we were discussing what we're going to be doing to fill our time, and I think we're going to be having a lot of interview segments here on the Opening Night Club podcast. The opening nights that we will be talking about, and if you want to participate, we're going to be going to see Artemeterus, which is the Pink Floyd experience up at ICCA on September 6th. And Rachel Powers is singing in that one. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be seeing Some Like It Hot at the Paramount. It's a new show. And you saw it on Broadway.
I did. My ill-fated adventure to New York in 2023.
So we'll be able to talk about that one. At the PAC on October 3rd is Late Night Catechism, which is a touring show, which we'll be able to talk about. So if you want to go see Late Night Catechism, you can. And then we start back up again with all of the opening nights that everybody loves here in Central Washington. Music Theater is opening up The Marvelous Wonderettes, directed by Maddie Atwood, on October 16th. And on the same night, Maskers Theater is opening up Little Shop of Horrors. So we will be attending The Marvelous Wonderettes to support our friends. And then we will also be seeing Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's always fun to check out a new theater, check out a new scene.
Yes.
So yeah, that'll be a pleasure.
Yeah, I've been out there a few times and they do a really good job. It's just there's not been a lot of crossover between the Moses Soap Lake folk and Wenatchee folk. Hopefully this podcast can change some of that.
Yeah, well, Rachel was in Bright Star in Quincy.
Yes.
Right, and it was entirely Quincy or Moses Lake people in it. So we organized a whole delegation to come down and support Rachel.
That's
and
right.
It was fun. We had a good time.
Yep, the Opening Night Club went to go see Bright Star, and it was a great show.
Yeah. It's Americana, right? If you're not familiar, it's Steve Martin's show. So it's because he plays banjo. So it's very bluegrassy.
Yes.
Right. So not like musical theater, more like theater with music, and it's all like hoedowns and that type of thing. Yeah. So if you like traditional American music, that's a great one.
I did miss the opening night for Quincy Valley Allied Arts, their summer theater program, which they performed at a winery in Trinidad.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. They had promotional material.
Yes, and it was like the Cupcake Caper and something else. And yeah. It didn't work out that we could go out and see the show. I can discuss a couple more shows that people might not know about, but Brian Higgins will be directing The Minutes in January or February of next year.
Oh, this is an exclusive.
He's going to be directing The Minutes by Tracy Letts. Of course, Music Theater has their Apple Blossom musical, Legally Blonde, which will be performed during Apple Blossom. And then Cynthia Brown is going to be directing The Shark is Broken in June. That show will be in June.
Yes.
And which is the true story of the filming of Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, it's based on that, right? So it's the three male leads of Jaws, and the production of Jaws was famously extremely troubled. The name of the show is The Shark is Broken, and they had awful troubles with the mechanical shark, and they were filming on the ocean, which I don't think any major motion picture had ever done before. So they had awful trouble with the weather, and everybody was extremely unhappy. And so that's the amazing story or what have you, that everybody was on what they thought was an extremely cursed production, wasn't going to make any money, was a total catastrophe, and then it turned out to be one of the most major films of the 20th century.
Yes.
It created a whole genre.
It's a touchstone in film.
Yeah, the Jaws music, right? The fin. It's all so iconic now, but at the time they're like, oh God, what have we done? Richard Dreyfuss, and whatnot. We're like, oh geez. We're on this mad journey, this doomed mad quest. But yeah, I've actually read that script because it's a little bit prominent. Mm-hmm. I've heard about it and I read the script and it's pretty good. It's the three male primaries. I don't think there's anybody else in the show. And they talk about life and the production. It's a very interesting script, so that'll be fun.
So we've got a couple new shows that I don't know if have been announced that widely yet, but they will be happening. The Minutes in January and The Shark is Broken in June.
Yeah, and so The Minutes is by Tracy Letts, who is a prominent playwright who wrote Killer Joe and August Osage County, which There are quality film adaptations of both of them. So if you're interested, you can check them out. He does all-tier stuff. It is not, again, like the Wizard of Oz crowd type stuff. So if you are listening to this and you're like a musical theater guy, but you would like to do something, take a look at those.
Yes.
Those are more raw, they're more real. They have a strong edge to them. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that.
Let's get on to the opening night we had this week. You participated in the Mini Quest Tavern.
Yeah, so I am not an impartial observer.
That's
here.
right. So you can give us the backstage dirt on the production.
Oh, yeah, it was such a controversial production. Everybody was fighting each other. It was terrible. No. It was a great crew. Cynthia Brown directed it. It's her project. And she has a strong improv background.
Yeah, Cynthia has been, honestly, it's hard to find a theater that Cynthia has not been involved with. She has been one of the most active theater people for decades at this point. She kept Mission Creek going for periods of time, but she was at Eastmont High School, and I think she was the first executive director at the PAC.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Cynthia is going to be directing The Shark is Broken. We mentioned that already. Mm-hmm. But she also had an improv group that she had been doing years ago. And so a lot of those people are also doing Mini Quest Tavern.
Yeah, so it's a hybrid Dungeons and Dragons improv performance, right? So we have a dungeon master who has written a campaign. It's been revised by the group, but he had the concept, Tyson Ward. And then there is a cast of characters, and the audience plays as the characters playing the campaign. So there's 3 levels here, right? And it's a lot of fun. People really go for it, especially the younger crowd. We do really well with the 8 to 14-year-olds.
Yes.
They get a huge kick out of it, and they were born into this. Critical Role on YouTube, this kind of thing. This is they grew up with it in a way that older people like us, we did not,
Dungeons and Dragons has had a big resurgence.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of people, well, there's 2 big ones, Dimension 20 and Critical Role, that are recording them playing Dungeons and Dragons with very funny voice actors and comedians, and people will watch them. A Critical Role, their episodes are 4 hours long, and they take years to finish a campaign.
Yeah, huge production,
yes.
Right? Yeah, so D&D was big back in the late 70s and 80s, and then when I was growing up in the 90s, it was a nerd thing. People knew about it, but it was a nerd thing, and now it's really prominent. The D&D movie with JJ always makes fun of me. I can never keep the Chris's straight. I think it was Wonder Woman's boyfriend.
Was that Chris Pine?
I don't know.
Okay. It's a Chris.
Wonder Woman's boyfriend.
Yes.
I think it was him.
Okay.
But that was a big hit, the D&D movie. That was really popular.
Yeah, no,
right?
that was a good one. We've had bad Dungeons and Dragons movies.
Okay, Michael Ironside. Classic.
Michael Ironside?
Yeah. As the villain in the 2001 Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh.
He's the dragon sorcerer? Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He chews the scenery so hard, he's like a spirit animal for me.
That was not a good movie.
No, it's an awful film.
That's an awful film.
He does a great job. But yeah, so it's a hybrid improv D&D theatrical scenario in which there's a lot of audience participation. And go ahead.
Well, okay, you were very involved with this show, and this is the first time I've seen it. And so I took my wife, spouse of the pod, and we went to go see this. It was very good for her to see this with me, but she is neither a big fan of improv or a fan at all of Dungeons and Dragons. And in my experience for this one, you've got to be comfortable with both of those to really get into the show.
Yeah, I think it's pretty approachable. I think it's good for a general audience, but the people who are going to be the most passionate about it, there were people that were yelling about, Tyson was making jokes about second edition, and I was I remember when all the non-human races had dark vision. And if you get a kick out of that, you'll like the show.
Yes.
And if not, you'll probably still enjoy yourself. But it is more for that crowd,
There was a lot of things where they were talking about who can read, who can see in the dark, who can cast Mage Hand.
Yeah.
And so there was a fair amount of stuff. It's I grew up with Dungeons & Dragons. I understand what this is. But again, my wife was not.
Yeah. Well, she had you. You were her guide.
Yeah, there was a lot of, I think during the first act, there was a lot of what's going on. And then she just kind of let it wash over her through the second act.
Just enjoy it. No. So it's it's a hand-picked group of improv performers, right, that are going through it. And they're all funny.
Yes.
And Tyson Ward himself, the Dungeon Master, is very funny and is really ready to like interact with the audience and joke around. And it has really, Cynthia's very like crafty. So it has actually excellent production.
Yes.
There was a squid that came down from the ceiling and there was a lot of props and whatnot. So no, I think it's a darn good show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Tyson was fantastic. And Tyson, he thinks quickly on his feet. And I think he's written a pretty good script for what it is.
Yes. So we were talking earlier about it. It's like it's people that are in the Dungeons and Dragons world and people who are in the improv world, and Tyson sits between them.
Yes.
Like improv and D&D. And I know G.J. Hernandez is the same, one leg in each world. And I think maybe Adam Eagle will one day join us.
Yeah.
Because he's also like that.
Yes.
Right. So he'd be a good guest.
And it's not full improv. And it's really not full Dungeons and Dragons. If you're expecting them to follow the rules exactly, it's not that.
Yeah. You're only kind of role-playing. Yes. The Dungeon Master turns control of the game over to the floor every so often. You are not in full control of it.
Yes.
Because we have a specific scenario that we have to get through in 2.5 hours.
Yes.
So you can't just kill the innkeeper or do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Well, so as a participant, we went and we got VIP table seats, and they had 6 tables with about 10 people each, and those 10 people got to pick one of the adventurers, which meant I think there was 10 adventurers that came out, and 6 of them got picked.
Yeah, I think maybe 9. But yeah, and then the rest of them lost their souls and became NPCs.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we were able to pick who we liked. We got to pick second, and I think we had some people that knew Shelley Heron, so we ended up with Freya, who was actually fantastic.
Shelley is almost always picked. Freya seems to resonate with the crowd in the same way that Glorb does, much to my chagrin. But yeah, Glorb and Freya, fan favorites.
Yes. Yeah. And honestly, the whole show, everybody was giving it their all. It was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm glad we had Freya going along. We picked the adventurers. They handed everybody at the table. We got a little bag with some stickers and a little scroll and some dice, 20-sided dice, of course. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to, some of us had scrolls that had spells.
Yes.
And so that kind of added the randomizer in there.
Yeah.
And we could pull it out at different times. And really, this is where the improv comes in, where we say, okay, you're going to cast a swarm of bees. You're going to...
summoning cheese. That's a powerful spell.
You could summon cheese.
Spell of cheese summoning.
That's right.
Yeah, so previously, we've done this twice before now, once at Host Wenatchee and once at the museum. And previously, the adventurers were finding magic items as the campaign progressed, like from encounters and whatnot. And that didn't seem to work super well. They often wouldn't use the magic item because it wasn't on their sheet or whatever. They didn't have like a physical thing for it. So now that's the idea, is to give it to them from the start so they have it in their mind that, we could summon cheese at some point.
Yes.
Right. There were magical items still distributed. Tyson gave out, there were 2 people who had birthdays in the audience. And so Tyson gave them the magic artifact of aging, which for every year that you wear it, you will age 1 year. So kind of a cursed item, powerful relics of ancient magic.
Yes. So we had, actually, Freya had the ability to attack the patriarchy.
Yes.
And so we had to wait for the appropriate time that she could destroy the ego of men.
Yeah. And she can like knee people to the groin too.
Yes.
On her character's theme, right? And I remember at one night of it, the people playing Shelley wanted her to knee the mermen in the groin. And we're like, they don't have groins. And like, oh, never mind then. It was like, come on. They're mermen. They produce their eggs internally or whatever. They're not the same.
I'm sure there's some place that hurts on a fish.
I'm sure, but they don't. It's not the same anatomy. At least not at that part of the merman.
That's right. Yeah. No, they had a whole bunch of different skills, and Tyson was great, kind of pushed us all through. He had a bunch of challenges, but honestly, the challenges were not super difficult.
No, although you never know with an audience.
Yes.
Right. And that's always the bit, is that there's always a puzzle that's like trying to put a key in a lock, and the audience just is always stumped by it. Like, can we test the key for traps? Can we pick the lock? Is there another way out? Can we burrow,
Yes.
And you're just driven crazy by it. But no, that's part of the fun of it is, people being wacky.
It was a lot of fun. I had a good time. We had a really good table. Shelby Dronin, who was in Wenatchee Live, and I've known her for a long time, is also a very funny person, was at our table, and it was her birthday.
Oh, she was one of the birthday girls.
She was one of the birthdays.
Noise.
Yeah, she got the crown of aging.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Shelby. But yeah, so we are planning on doing, tentatively, we're planning on doing a Halloween show, and there is a costume contest at these nights, right? So yeah, please consider it. Please considering auditioning for it even. There's always people coming in and coming out, right? So it'll be a good way. If you want to do improv in the Valley, this is a good way to do it. And we are planning to do a Halloween show, so consider it. Please consider it.
Yes.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay, thank you for listening to the Opening Night Club podcast. If you can, join us at Artemeterus on September 6th, and our next real opening night will be September 18th at Humans, a Primer.
Yes, so that'll be at the Bushel and Bee, and it is free, so, very low bar of entry, and I swear that this show will change your life, and if it doesn't, I'll give you your money back. 100% guaranteed your money back if it does not alter the course of your life.
And there you have it, folks. Next opening night will change your life.
I won't say whether it's for the better or for the worse. All right, that is beyond the scope of my guarantee, of my warranty. But it will change your life or your money back. You can mail me at my office for your return.
There you go. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We will see you at the next opening night. Thanks for listening to the Opening Night Club. If you enjoy hearing about local theater events, leave us a comment, and even better, subscribe or follow the show. We're thrilled to have you in the club, and we'll see you at the next opening night.